Good afternoon, I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. Bus fares increase. A 35-year-old LUSAKA man to spend 50 years in prison for defiling 4 girls. Join me with the details after this commercial.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the media news in detail. The Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA, has approved the request by the bus operators to increase bus fare pursuant to Section 10811 of the Road Traffic Act No. 11 of 2002. Following the consultative meeting which bus operators held on Saturday, 18th December 2021, RATSA has approved the new bus fares as follows. Intermine Copper Belt routes 6.09 Ngwe, representing 26% increase. Intercity 55 kwacha 87 Ngwe, 18%. Copper Belt 2 kwacha 56 Ngwe, 34%. LUSAKA local routes, the adjustment is 2 kwacha 56 Ngwe, 34%. And for LUSAKA peri-urban, the adjustment is 6 kwacha 9 Ngwe, equivalent to a 26% rise. The new bus fares are effective 21st December 2021. This is in a statement issued by the LUSAKA Road Head of Public Relations, Frederick Muwanga. A social scientist has charged that the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, was right for ruling that Bowman Lusambo and others whose elections have been nullified by the High Court should not have been allowed to continue sitting in Parliament even if they had appealed to the Constitutional Court. Innocent Kolala believes the ruling is a confirmation of further lacuna that exist in the Constitution. He says the focus must be directed at ensuring that the United Party for National Development Administration delivers constitutional reforms to fine-tune the Constitution to avoid inconsistency in the future.
On the 7th of December 2021, the Zambian Constitution was yet again put to the test when the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, ruled that Kabushi Member of Parliament Bowman Lusambo and other parliamentarians were out of order to remain in the House after the nullification of their election victory by the High Court despite petitioning. It is an issue that brought divergent views among stakeholders, with the majority claiming that the Speaker was out of order.
By declaring that Lusambo is wrongfully in the House, she has literally told the Constitutional Court, don't even determine this matter, I've determined it myself.
In that case, we say she has probably, she has overstepped her authority, constitutional authority, and ruled on something that the courts are still pending to rule.
But a social scientist, Innocent Kolala, believes the Speaker was in order for making that decision, claiming that it was due to lacunas that exist on the articles regarding the election petitions. It says the ruling is just a reminder of the need for Zambia to once again fine-tune the Constitution in order to get rid of lacunas.
Of Madam Speaker, to me, I feel it was 100% perfect. Why am I saying this? When you read Article 73 of our Constitution, is very, very clear. When it talks about the petition itself, one, it has talked of anyone who feels aggrieved can petition to the High Court in line with the Member of Parliament, whilst the councillors, council chairperson and mayors, they can petition to a board which is constituted by the Chief Justice. Now, this it is given to where they are supposed to go for petition. Then secondly, during the petition, it is very clear, it has given even the time frame when the petition is supposed to be heard, 90 days. It is supposed to be heard at the same time be disposed of in 90 days. On the petition again, it has also given a condition that when the matter has been petitioned, members of parliament shall remain in the house, attending the sitting. But where now there is a void or there is a nullification, the constitution just ends on saying the person who feels aggrieved after the nullification can appeal to the Constitutional Court. What follows after appeal? How is this parliamentarian protected? It is not embedded in the Constitution.
He pointed out that there are a number of issues that need to be addressed in the current Constitution.
Talks about. These are some of the issues which, instead of concentrating on blaming or condemning the Madam Speaker, we should now start lobbying to the current government to ensure that we go back and amend the Constitution, such as most of those lacuna things, those which leaves much to be desired, has to be attended to. Once again, I'm appealing to the current government that amongst the priorities which they have, let them consider also put the constitutional review as a priority.
The hope is that the constitutional reforms will take an inclusive approach, unlike in the past where we saw two different groups on the infamous Bill 10. However, Justice Minister Mulambo Haimbe has been making assurances that the process will be inclusive. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
In other news, the Lusaka High Court has sentenced a 35-year-old man of Lusaka's Chamba Valley area to 50 years imprisonment with hard labor for defiling 4 girls aged between 9 and 13 years. This was in a matter in which Joseph Winga, a builder, was found guilty in March this year for locking 4 girls in his house, defiling 3 of them and attempting to molest another one. The convict was slapped with 4 counts of defilement committed on the 3rd of July 2020.
Joseph Winga, the man who deprived 3 minors of their innocence by taking turns to defile them and attempted to molest one of them in 2020, has been sent to a correctional facility where he will spend 50 years of his life following the judgment passed by the High Court in Lusaka. Appearing for his judgment before Judge Mwapeua, Winga could not escape his fate but found its reality. The 35-year-old builder who had locked up 4 girls in his house in 2020 and took advantage of his victims' innocence has been sentenced to 50 years imprisonment with hard labor. On the 2nd of October 2021, Winga was arrested and charged with 3 counts of defilement and 1 count of attempted defilement, which he had pleaded not guilty to. However, in March 2021, the Lusaka Magistrate Court found him guilty and referred him to the High Court for sentencing. During trial, the 4 victims aged between 9 and 13 had testified that on the material day, the 3rd of July, the grandmother to one of the victims requested that they escort her and the convict to his place. After they reached, the grandmother of the 13-year-old victim entered the house with the convict while they remained playing outside. However, she left shortly, leaving the 4 victims behind. This made Winga find an opportunity to take advantage of the 4 girls when they requested for water to drink, and he ushered them in his house and locked it. The convict firstly caught the 13-year-old victim in his bedroom, where he sexually abused her, and later caught for the younger ones. Further evidence on record indicates that he made his victims watch how he was defiling each one of them, and after it was done, requested for a second round. In passing sentence, Judge Wawa said Winga was more than a pedophilia who deserves to be caged for a long time and set as an example to other persons like him to send a clear message that punishment would follow such criminal acts. Further said, the young children he abused would remain scared of what he subjected them to, a fact that was the least of his consideration as he pre-planned his acts on the girls. The court then sentenced him to 14 years for attempted defilement and 50 years on each count of defilement, which will run concurrently, which means the convict will serve 50 years imprisonment with hard labor. Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
Republican Vice President Inongawina has urged public institutions to ensure that procurement made are in line with market prices. Officiating during a ministers and permanent secretaries meeting on public procurement Monday, the Republican Vice President says past trends have shown procurement of public goods and services at exaggerated prices, which she says is an act of criminality and a waste of public resources.
Financial management in public institutions has always been a source of concern from different players in the governance system, as these institutions have time and again been cited in alleged corrupt activities. Reports from the Financial Intelligence Center (FIC) and the Auditor General have time and again implicated these institutions in overspending, especially where procurement is concerned. Republican Vice President Ms. Mutalena Lumango has reminded institutions of the need to save public funds by ensuring that procurements made are not exaggerated from the actual price, but that they are reflective of costs on the market. She was speaking when addressing a meeting of ministers and permanent secretaries on procurement in the public sector Monday.
Thus, as leaders, there is need to ensure that our institutions adhere not only to procurement procedures and regulations, but also to financial regulations. Currently, the financial regulations for government procurement are embedded in the Public Finance Management Act No. 1 of 2018. This act provides guidance on the financial side of procurement and also outlines penalties for breaching its provisions. It is therefore key that we as leaders have full understanding of its provisions. To assist in this, representatives from the Ministry of Finance and National Planning are present to shed more light on the key provisions contained therein.
The Republican Vice President has reminded Zambians of the new administration's commitment to fighting corruption by ensuring that the law visits anyone caught practicing the vice.
The well-being of the approximately 18 million Zambians is in our hands. If we don't do what we have been entrusted to do, our own people will suffer. Therefore, it is our duty to take these meetings seriously and seize them as an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of our fellow Zambians. Let me mention this again. Our President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, is very passionate about the need to procure goods, services, and works at the right price, the need to ensure quality, and delivering at the right time.
Also present in the meeting was the Auditor General and representatives from the Zambia Public Procurement Authority to offer advice on how procurement can better be improved in the country. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. Bus fares increase. A 35-year-old man of LUSAKA to spend 50 years in prison for defiling 4 girls. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon.